What it do, what it don't, what it will, what it won't. It's another Friday, another opportunity to get together and record the Ball Hog Sports Talk. This week's episode is going by the title of The Ace Card. For those of us who spent a lot of our time in college playing spades, or anybody and everybody that plays any sort of cards, we know the Ace Card is a powerful one, and it's going to be a powerful one today as we, the Ball Hog Sports Talk, get together and discuss sports, business, and entertainment. If you've never been here before and you wanted to know what it is, let me tell you. The Ball Hog Sports Talk is where a few businessmen get together to discuss sports in an entertaining fashion. We do it one way and one way only. That's rough, rugged, and raw. Today's show is going to be another rough, rugged, and raw celebration of sports, business, and entertainment. So with no further ado, boys and girls, cats and rats, dogs and frogs, pull up a nice, tall, it could be a short seat, but pour yourself a nice, tall glass of coffee or mug of coffee, and let's get going. Let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke, because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw, so come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on. Let's go.
Once again, it's on. Once again, it's on. I get the distinct pleasure to be in front of this microphone with the man, the myth, the legend. Thou shalt be intergalactically known and respected as someone who's from the Middle Coast. When you say his name, say it with reverence and with some bass in your voice. He is the Big Flow Show. What's up, my brother?
Man, what's good? What's good? Happy Friday to you. Happy almost 4th of July. Happy whatever else we doing this weekend thing.
All of that. We're going to do all of that, man. All wrapped up in one, because it's a summer Friday, baby. So we're going to get it cooking. The heat.
In and out.
In
like a hamburger.
and out. It's going to be really efficient, as they say. We're going to be efficient with our possessions here and get some things accomplished, man. The heat turned up on the East Coast, and the heat always has the ace card. You know how we do our titles? They mean something to us, man. But when that heat hits you, you do feel as though you got hit with that ace card, man. It's just a little much to overcome, but we're going to do it anyway. You have a namesake. I have a namesake. Yours is the second or junior. Your son is the second or junior.
Kind of sort of just some different middle names so that he's not actually junior or second, but his diploma says junior, which is the first time I've seen it written that way, but we'll take it.
We'll take it. But that makes you the ace. You're the senior statesman of that particular name. You've got the ace right there.
I don't care if his name was George.
Sure.
I'm the senior statesman of
You're
this
the senior statesman. I too have a namesake. He's not a junior. It was decided by people who are higher up than me that it was going to be pronounced differently. So he's the second and not junior. But we both have the ace card. I wanted to get right to the NBA draft, man, and just talk about something that bothered me, man, as a dad. You know, as a dad, what I saw was unbelievable, man. It was unbelievable. It was a situation where here is someone with a particular name, a last name that holds a lot of reverence in circles, basketball circles. I was going to show the video. I ain't going to show it. We can just talk about it. It was Dylan Harper being asked, when comparing your game to your dad's, the great Ron Harper, who played with those Chicago Bulls and won championships, plural. Outside of Michael Jordan, he still had his own legacy, had a great run in Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah. They actually thought he was going to be a rival to Jordan until Jordan said, come on, man.
And he has some injuries. Be fair.
He played great for us though, at the Bulls. I'm a big fan.
Big fan. And we all should be. Ron Harper I think he's the forgotten personality when we start talking about those great Bulls teams, because Ron Harper had a lot to do with their success. But anyway, that Ron Harper, Dylan Harper, who got a grand total of 0 minutes in NBA, when asked to compare his game to his dad, who should be the ace, who should still be at the head of the table, who still should get the big piece of chicken. He said bluntly, I'm better in every category. He said, maybe he can out-jump me, but I'm better in every category. And I took issue with that, man. I thought maybe he should have said something like, look, it ain't no better. I'm just next in line. It should have been something politically correct to try to deal with the ego that is being a dad. Am I wrong, man? I thought Dylan Harper failed on that one. You ain't better than your dad. You just next, champ.
So I didn't get a chance to see an interview. You told me about it, and you asked me what he said. And the first thing I thought he was going to say is, "I speak better than he does," and that would have been wrong, and that would have been slap worthy. That would have been dad come up and slap. But I think you said you hit it on the head. If his father wasn't there, sitting right next to him.
But anyway, go ahead.
I said his dad wasn't there, sitting right next to him. At a moment like that, how you don't have an NBA great in there, unless there was some "I don't want to steal your shine" moment, but. You go back in the second round, which I did get to watch. They brought a parent up with every draft pick, which I thought was classy as hell. So yeah, it's really weird that he was missing. I don't know if that didn't happen at all in the first round. Again, I was out and I didn't get to see it the way I'd like to.
I don't know what is going on. That's the other issue I had with it, is that dad wasn't there. I don't know what's going on in their life, to be honest with you.
Something's about that. There's something to be said about that. Just that did he have any humor in his voice, or did he sound as serious as a heart attack?
I'm gonna pull it up, man. I didn't want to show it, but it sounded like it was so direct that he had thought about the question before and answered it in a way that.
I mean, was that like Mamba mentality type stuff or whatever?
It's sort of, but
that's what we've been pushing lately. Ever since Kobe died, man, we've been just changing the way we do that.
Let me see if I can pull it up. Here I go. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna be lazy. It's a shorter clip. So let's
just hope an ad doesn't play for something.
Yeah, something might pop up. Just bear with us, man. That's how you know it's rough, rugged, and raw. Like we said, we guaranteed to be rough, rugged, and raw. So here we go. I'll play it.
Just so you know, if a bad ad comes out, there's an algorithm.
Hey, man, stop. I don't
even know this is not my account.
Iconic NBA names here. But tell me, what do you do better than your dad?
Everything. I mean, my dad was definitely was a great player. I mean, my dad scored the ball, passed the ball, played defense. But I think I like to always have the utmost confidence in myself. So I'm just saying I'm a little better at everything than him, except for jumping. He might have jumping over me. Okay. But besides from that, I got myself.
You have one of.
All right, so
nah, much to be made of nothing. I think that was a lighthearted response. I would expect nothing different than that, but he showed reverence. You know what I mean? He smiled, talking about him in favor. So I still think he's, it's today's athlete. Much to be made of nothing.
Yeah, man. All right, man. I guess I wasn't tripping though, because I was a little upset by it. I was like, yeah, he's supposed to just say you next, champ. And oh, by the way, your dad's got something that you ain't close to.
Let's be honest. I know you're not honest. But let's be honest. Deuce is a better basketball player than you ever were.
Who?
Who
you talking about? Not in this household. Hey, as I wear I'm going to go see my son play live. Period.
Your dad didn't come see you at no live period coming into high school. Hey, nobody invited you to anybody's camp. You weren't no top nothing.
Old. I'm so old. That's pre-live period.
Yeah, pre-period. Your son's a way better hooper than you ever were. You know that. Don't even stop it. Just take it.
Areas where he's better. Yes.
Let's take it.
All in all, I'm taking me.
As soon as the ball touches fingers is when those areas start.
The other thing is that there was no Ron Harper sighting.
That's the weird part.
And look, his mom coaches the high school. She's one of the coaches at his old high school.
Who is his mother?
Here in New Jersey. She's one of the assistant coaches. His mother is of Asian descent, it looks like.
She's not the one everybody's been talking about. We're not going to go there.
She is one of the ones that people have been talking about. Pleasant on the eyes. Played college basketball, but no Ron Harper sighting on NBA draft night, and your son Dylan Harper is now taking the baton.
Maybe he was somewhere with a speech pathologist trying to get right. Maybe the mom was too big.
I'm not going with you on that, man. I'm not messing with you on that man's speech. But I'm baffled.
Okay, I got a video that we can't play on the air that you're going to get. But I'm starting to wonder, is she the one that everybody says is a Hall of Famer? The mom?
Yes.
Oh my Lord, I didn't know that. Well, now it makes more sense.
Yes.
But she's a coach too.
Asian looking.
Keeper. I heard about it.
Yes. That shows you your algorithm, the type of people that you roll with, that you getting that information. You didn't hear that from me.
I didn't
Talking
see
about
it, so
algorithm.
everything is algorithm. I heard about. You'll see the video when I'm done with this, but I can't show it on the air because it's tacky.
It's tacky, and we
But you're
ain't
gonna
not
enjoy
tacky
it.
as a
But
group.
you
We're
will
just not
enjoy it.
tacky. The other ace card that I
Show
want.
enough said that Ron was there.
Was he there? All right, what up, man? It's my brother.
So Show enough saw the
God,
video
brother.
that
I'm
I'm
gonna say
talking
brother
about.
Law. That's my
We
god.
can't put your comments out there, but Show enough saw my he saw the video. I saw.
Yeah, I like that video too.
I saw you saw.
I
that?
would just hate to be on the other end of the video, man. Somebody analyzing your mom, dudes.
All right, so listen, I'm gonna say this because this is an adult show. Most people, if you put the kids away, there's this guy out there, which is very entertaining because he's not exactly like the most handsome gentleman, but he goes through
That
groups
never
of,
stops us as men.
I
We don't
love
have
it.
to. Yeah,
He
we don't have
literally
to.
goes through like coaches' wives, NBA wives, and now he did that first round draft pick mothers, and he tells you whether or not he would lay with them in a different way. The term he uses is smash. But he gives it he takes it so seriously that you have to watch it through. But it's very interesting.
It's funny stuff.
It's
A
very
must-see TV. But I will say this, man. I thought that if Ron Harper was there, great. But the features, the interviews, even the interview we just showed, right? The very next scene is him with his mother. I just thought it should be more prominence. Since his dad, and I don't know their situation, but seemed a little weird. The other ace card that I wanted to bring up, because we're going to get to Ace Bailey, but we talked about Rutgers being an Adidas school. You had Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper that were Nike spokespeople, Nike athletes, right? Because I don't know how you say you're a Nike athlete, you play for an Adidas school, but these basketball stars. We knew that Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper were likely going to be top 5 picks as soon as they signed on the dotted line at Rutgers. Despite Rutgers having challenges, we knew that they were prodigies, if you will, in terms of NBA draft projections. The other ace card is that the athletes now have the leverage, and we'll talk about it from 2 standpoints. One being the marketability, and these 2 athletes being Nike athletes and playing for an Adidas school, and then we'll get to the other leverage that I think impacted the draft. But it's amazing to see how much leverage these guys have now, man, because they aren't just some student athlete from some random place in America that's coming to get their degree, or at least take steps towards their degree. They ain't just businessmen. They are businesses, men. These guys are in themselves businesses. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this changes the landscape of having athletes on campus. The school, in this case, Rutgers, having its agreement with its partner, which was Adidas, and it undermining or coming into conflict with the athlete who is himself, in this case, I almost said Ron Harper. See, told you, boy. Ron, put some respect on his name. Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey being the business that has all the cachet and having a relationship separate and aside, but just as meaningful with their own shoe company in Nike. It's going to be interesting, man. But
I say quickly on that, we always talk about the downside, these kids getting too much money, doing whatever. I do like the fact that the kids are operating in a business-like manner, coming in to the league and knowing their leverage. I don't like. I mean, there's a process, right? And your process try to get a job. So I don't want to double talk here because I was critical of Shedeur from the standpoint of like it backfired and it hurt him. Obviously, with Ace, it didn't really hurt him. If he didn't want to go to a team and he only went 5th, and like you said, he already has money. Shedeur already has money. So it does put you in a different situation where you're not desperate to do everything that people want. I don't ever know what the end result is that with the young man that was drafted by, was it your Browns or was it the Bengals? And he said he wouldn't sign because they tried to give him a contract, basically saying they can nullify the guarantee for
Bengals.
jaywalking.
Yeah,
The
they're talking
Bengals.
about. He's talking about going back into the draft. I'll put my Browns into that.
I didn't. I knew it was Ohio. I knew it was one of that middle state. But like I just
That's the bang. Right,
but again, because these kids aren't that desperate anymore, and he's like, "Look, I got money."
the Ace Bailey thing. The Ace
Uh-huh.
Bailey thing is because it's just right there, tip of my tongue because you're describing it. Ace Bailey, if you haven't heard, his approach to the NBA draft was to tank it, if you will, and not get drafted by one of the top 5 teams. So he didn't do workouts. He made it very clear that he wanted to play for a team that's going to let him be a star and that he philosophically aligned with. He had all of these, you had to meet this criteria, all these demands, stuff that you only say aloud when you know you've got the ace card. You've got that card in your
So you
back
said
pocket.
had he been named Deuce, you think he wouldn't have had that same mama mentality?
I don't know. What I will say is this: had he not had, it's reported that he made about 1.6 million in NIL dollars outside of what he made with the collective itself. It's been reported that Rutgers basketball, with their collective, had between 10 million and 12 million dollars to split up on their team last year. I would go out on a limb. Now, it has not been reported. They don't have to disclose that. But they almost split that evenly between 2 people. The 2 people that had their name called on Wednesday night. And so let's just say they had 12 million. They gave Ace Bailey 5 million. He arrived to the draft night, $6 million in the black, minus whatever he spent over the year.
What
Do
we
you
call
know
in the
how
hood.
different
What we
that
call in the
is?
hood, I. He came in, he was I.
Do you know how different that is than the generations of players that have arrived at draft night in the red, already in debt, without having ever seen any real money? And it takes having Adam Silver call your name and walk across that stage for you to forever change your life. Ace Bailey arrived at the draft, and I'm saying his name because he was the inspiration behind today's show, the Ace card. But he's representative of the new frontier of what it means to have an athlete get to draft night. There are going to be a lot more athletes that have things to say, that are going to have conditions, that are going to opt out of workouts, that are going to try to finagle where they land. Why? Because he arrived as an existing, thriving, revenue-generating business, not as some little kid desperate to change his life. And I think that's going to change the entire draft process, especially for football and basketball from this point forward. Right? You had Carson Beck making $4 million to go down to Miami this year. Someone's going to pay you $4 million to go play another year of college football and live in the beautiful, beautiful place called Miami, Florida. If I do say so myself, South Florida represent. Dade County with $4 million. He arrives very differently to draft day than quarterbacks pre-NIL. And so I think they being the business that arrives on draft night, the business that is the foundation behind these athletes that are making, let's just say on a conservative end, Ace Bailey made close to $6 million before he ever heard his name called. They arrive with a lot more leverage, and it's going to be fun to watch. I'll give you last word on it, man, and we're going to rock and roll.
Real quick, I just think that if we look at this, the picture that's being painted, and the stroke, the brush strokes are changing the picture every 3 to 6 months at the most. Is like a 5-year period back in our day, as far as how much change has been happening. But I will say, if you really take a step back, when you and I grew up, we went to the park and played a lot. I used to run this hill because Walter Payton ran the hill, and I thought I was on bleeding edge. I bought the little strength shoes or whatever, to try to get my explosion right. Worked out with those a couple times, whatever. But these kids, I look at your son and the dribbling drills. You have him in the rain with an umbrella, dribbling down the street and doing whatever, and with trainers and doing the stuff. These kids are operating as professionals from the 3rd grade. When you really look at it from a standpoint of the regiment, we didn't have regiments the same way we were young and there. So if we can match up the mental with the physical, the kids are shooting taking basketball, there's no comparison between today's shooters and shooters from the past. They're 15x better today than they ever were, because guys like Michael Jordan never grew up with a 3-point line. Now these guys are shooting threes in second grade. You know what I mean? They're getting ready to go through whatever. So I think that if we can educate these kids and save them from themselves and some of the temptation, the fact that they are business people coming out of high school and these guys are signing contracts early, you can never be too early to be exposed to business, as long as you have some structure and you have some guidance around you to overcome the immature aspects and the immature temptations that you're going to have to do stuff. So we're going to hear a lot of horrible stories because that's what the news wants to put. But then there's some stories you got to look at and say, man, that was genius. That was smart. And I hope that we hear more of those stories than the other.
Yeah, there is a rising trend in this particular draft. You go right to Dylan Harper.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go down the list of them. Jamal Crawford's son and Kendrick Perkins' son, and I even saw at the Nike camp my son JJ Ryder. I saw Monty Williams. I saw there's this growing trend, and they're talking about how the legacy of NBA players is creating the new NBA. We circulated. And we'll probably talk about it maybe in we're going to be doing thought pieces too on the Ball Hog Sports Talk now, where we put a lot of research into one topic and start to flex our muscles in terms of, we do have the perfect intersection between sports, business, and entertainment. But there's an article that we are discussing that talks about the cost of AAU basketball and how, with all of the trainers that you alluded to and the travel that you have to do, how former NBA players have an advantage because they can afford the cost, the new cost of trying to get their namesakes in some cases, but their sons to the promised land of the NBA. And they kind of know how to get there. The challenge with that is that some of these same NBA players, and I'm not pointing at anyone in particular, but the studies have shown that they failed miserably in terms of protecting and then generating real wealth, right? And so the people that are ushering these young men into the NBA, a lot of times have the worst cases of having fumbled the bag, as the young people say now, and squandered money. And we know that the saying, the idiom, the youth is wasted on the young, is because when you're young, you don't think about 20 years from now. You don't think about 10 years from now. Hell, you don't even think about 10 minutes from now sometimes. But I agree with you, man. The more we can institutionalize better decisions, not only just a better crossover, a better jump shot, a better method of rebounding, a better method of training. These kids are doing freaking yoga, my own son. Get yoga right away, right? Let's get into it, right? You look at how Wemby has treated his body as though it was indeed a vessel.
Wemby's trying to go full Lou Alcindor, though. He's doing martial arts.
That man went over there.
With Jackie Chan gonna come out with a movie. Yeah, who's the kung fu guy there today? We remember who was the baddest kung fu man? That title's gone now. Huh? It used to be Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Yes, it's gone. Maybe it's gonna be
Wemby. Man, what's wrong? These youth don't know what's going on.
Even though we're with the monks, or we're not. I'm messing it up.
Kung Fu Theater in the morning, son. Come on, man. We got to get back to some of that.
I did want to bring up this interesting case that came up. We got two things we're gonna get out of here, man. Today's gonna be a quick show. University of Wisconsin is trying to sue University of Miami because one of their commits, they said it was tampering. And I don't know, tampering is an aggressive verb, and maybe like torturous interference with a contract.
That's what they call it, torturous interference, yeah.
Is that what it was? All right. So in terms of the theory behind the case, what the claim was, but just conceptually, are we entering a new frontier where the ace card is going to be, I'll sue your punk ass, Miami? How about that?
The lawsuit isn't being brought by universities, being brought by the collective, which is interesting. Because the universities think like, okay, because I thought about it at first. I'm like, you want to be careful because there's a lot of this going around. But the collective, which probably
including Wisconsin didn't call somebody's kids.
Come on, man. Yeah, they call somebody. But I think what happened is it's Miami, not Florida, sure enough. But anyway, but unless you're just talking states. But let me stop digressing. I think that it's a dangerous.
He's in South Florida too.
I got it.
Man.
But
That's my guy, brother.
you shouldn't make that mistake. He should say Miami versus Florida just because they're University of. But I'm just gonna stop. Anyway, I believe it's a dangerous case for both sides because if the case is lost, all bets are off. If the case wins, the litigation that can follow is just going to get obnoxious, and we don't really want to. We just don't even want to see that. The problem is it's just never going to stop. It's a free market. I personally do believe in my heart, if somebody gives you multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, you should not be able to transfer for the life of the contract. I think that
Should
should
you not
lock
be
you.
able to accept a call from someone that is talking to you about other deals? In business, we do that all the time. The day after you sign one of your clients, that client is going to be getting a call from one of your competitors talking about how they can service them better or how they can do it more affordable. That's just the nature of business.
I never want to talk about what I do, but I sign people up in contracts that are with a term, 60 month, whatever month. You can't leave. My competitor can call you tomorrow and say that I'll give it to you for half the price. Oh, well, you still here. You have to pay. You're part of this. We're into an agreement. If you are paid money to go to a school and whatever you want to call it, pay to play, NIL, whatever, the stipulation should be that you can't, they should be, if I'm giving you something, like if my company wants to come to me today and say, Reggie, I want you to sign a non-compete. What are you going to give me? Like, what am I giving up?
Consideration for.
Here's my money. Okay. We're going to give you if we fire you, we're going to give you, 6 months leave termination, or we're going to do this, whatever. There's an exchange. You're giving these kids right now we went from a school that could lock you in and tell you where you could go for nothing, where you couldn't go for nothing, and you had to give up your all penalty, no reward. But now I'm saying, here is a check for $300,000. Here is a check for $1 million. They should be able to tell you, you can't leave. This transfer portal period, I nothing to do with you, unless we decide we want to let you go or to mutual release. They're giving you something. You should give up a right for the money. It would be worth it to me. Obviously we're coming from a place of nothing, but I just think if you're going to get $1 million from a school,
from a place of nothing. I got something. I got $6 in my account. I know Ace Bailey got.
I got a book of coops. I still got a book of coops.
I got $6 in my account.
I got a book of coops somewhere waiting for me to buy some pizza at La Fortune. But like at the end of the day, you're getting something. I don't see why you shouldn't be able to give something up.
I think that's what the house settlement is going to do with this clearinghouse, where the NIL deals are going to have to pass some sort of scrutiny. And the consideration, not to get all legalese, but the considerations, what you're basically alluding to, is that I'm giving you something, whatever that is. We've negotiated for that thing. That's consideration, whether it's a protection, some exclusivity, a certain price. We've negotiated. There's consideration for that. And I think that's where we'll find where the new happy medium will be for these athletes.
I did get an email. I did get an email, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. I just thought about it now, from my daughter's university, saying if she has an NIL deal, that she has to register the NIL deal with this NIL something.com. And if it's found that you didn't do it, you can lose your eligibility. So that they're trying to find a way to enforce it and track it. I think that's some bigger lawsuits going on there. They're trying to, they let everyone run wild, and now they're trying to rein them in. And I just think that's going to be the hard part. But go ahead.
We'll go home with this, man, because in the war of the battle of sexes, Mars versus Venus, the greatest world war ever known to mankind, we got the ace card, because the Switzerland women's national team, who features one of their stars, and this particular star complained about how their team, the women's team, should be paid the same as men. The Switzerland women's national team played a U15 team. That's 15-year-old boys. And lost. They just lost. They got their asses kicked. 1-7. Notice you put the 1 first because you thought the national team, they tried to keep it under wraps, but one of the 15-year-olds did what 15-year-olds do. They posted.
Told everybody.
They posted on the internet. So, men, we not that far removed. We the same month of Father's Day. Take a bow. We won this one. We won this one. The men are in the building. We got the ace card. When your wife start tripping, your lady start tripping, whoever this weekend, you just talk about the Switzerland women's national team that lost to that 15U team. As if. Men, enjoy your weekend. I'll give you last word. And we got the ace card, baby. Make sure you talk bold, baby. Leave a seat up this weekend in the bathroom. Put your feet up on the coffee table. You know what I mean? Drink beer for breakfast. Do something real manly because we got the ace card this week. Thanks to these 15-year-old kids out in Switzerland. Salute, young men.
I would
Agree
say,
with you.
man, I have a good friend of mine, a good friend of yours, Emmett Mosley. We have a conversation and we always say, where's the upside? There's no upside. I don't know why they played this 15U team.
Oh, I thought you said, what's the upside with agreeing me? I was like, you going to leave me out in the street by myself? I thought
no, I'm saying there was no upside for these ladies to play 15U.
They probably thought it was going to be an easy dub.
No upside. So you beat 15U. What does that tell you? What does that mean? You beat kids that can't drive to the game. Someone who needed a ride to the game. You beat.
We don't know the rules of Switzerland.
We don't know the rules of Switzerland, but chances are, right? These kids are probably so playing these beautiful women playing soccer. They probably were so distracted and still beat you 7-1.
Yeah.
You know, my son's girlfriend plays soccer. I don't have the nerve to send her the article. She may block me.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's got to be one of the things where, matter of fact, if she ever tells you about it, alludes to it, you got to
act surprised.
Right? Yeah. Oh, really? That happened?
Was there injuries? was the field tilted one direction?
Yeah.
Was the goal smaller? That's really bad though. 15 versus professionals, grown
professionals advocating to get paid more money. Right. So.
Out there, women, if you're in a decision-making power, do not compete with men. It's a bad idea. Maybe golf, but don't.
Brother said
it. Pickleball.
Gang, we in here, baby. It's Mars all day, baby. We got
Show enough.
We got this thing for the weekend. As I gotta go and get in this car and drive to see my son play, I might not even drive. I might tell my wife to drive. I'm throwing her the keys. I'm in the passenger seat.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you race her and give her a 5-block head start? See if you can get it.
I ain't doing all that.
He say, I'm 15U, baby. All day, 15U, baby.
This is the Ace Card episode. The 15U was the highlight of our Ball Hawk Spotlight moment. It's been a great show. It's light season. This is what it is. Apologies, we didn't get to WNBA. We'll get to it next week. But Mars versus Venus, we won this week. We didn't have to talk about WNBA, but we did talk about a lot of good stuff when it comes to the NBA draft and the ace card that we all play. For each of us, our ace card in our lives, the thing that you hold in your back pocket is enjoying every day. So we'll leave you with these words as you embark on your weekend, as the seasons are changing, as the world is going crazy around us. We're fighting, and then we're in peace times, and we're doing this. But there's a lot going on. Make sure that you keep the ace card in your back pocket, that you control your happiness. So love the people around you, the people that really matter, and those will be the people that will give you love back. And with that, boys and girls, cats and rats, dogs and frogs, anything and everything in between, we appreciate you guys. Like we ask you every week humbly, please like, comment, share. You can tag a friend, you can tag a foe, you can tag anyone that you know, and please subscribe to both our YouTube channel and our podcast. With that,
record edition of Speed Edition.
Speed Edition, man.
Let's go.
My son got the ace card. He got me doing my show quick. I gotta go watch him play.
Let's
It
do
is
this.
what it is. With that, we is out. Peace.